What's up, everybody? I am Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, and our followers and viewers and Discord members have been clamoring for us to provide some sort of research for CSGO DFS contests on DraftKings. How to win, stacking strategies, the right lineup approaches to use. So with a bit of break here for League of Legends DFS, we decided to dig in and look at the best ways to win in these CSGO contests. So what you're about to watch here is a replay of our live Twitch stream that we did last night. And we go live every single night on Twitch, 10 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy. That link is in the description below, so follow us there. That way you're notified every time we go live on Twitch, and you can jump in and ask questions live. And in this live Twitch stream last night, we revealed some of the research that we've performed on historical CSGO contests, looking at the right stacking strategies, which teams to use in your captain spots, ownership projections based on money lines, lots of great information that we've discovered. And while we may not provide in-depth CSGO content in the future, whether it be videos or daily plugs on occupyfantasy.com, any of this type of research that we come across, we'll be sure to give out to either our YouTube viewers, our Twitch watchers, or our Discord members. And speaking of Discord, our Twitch subscribers do get access to our members Discord, where they're chatting every single day about strategies for different sports. And again, you can get that through twitch.tv/OccupyFantasy. All right, again, you're about to watch this video. If you like what we do here, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. That way you're notified anytime we post a video here on YouTube. And give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And in the video, we actually talk about questions. So if you have questions that weren't answered in the video, comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Again, this is our live Twitch stream from the other night, and we hope you enjoy and learn about how to win in CSGO DFS.
What's up, everybody? It's Moose at CFB_Moose on Twitter, alongside co-founder Brian at BrianJesterFF on Twitter. We're from OccupyFantasy.com at OccupyFantasy on Twitter and Instagram. Glad you all are here tonight. We're going to be switching things up a little bit. League of Legends is taking a break for a couple days, which means we don't have GPPs to take down. But we're switching it over to CSGO. What's up, Brian? How you holding up today?
What's up, Moose? I'm glad you said the abbreviation first because I 100% would have messed it up. But yeah, we got a little bit of a break here coming up for some League of Legends games. But around May 16th, that shit's coming back harder than ever. We got a million leagues going, so we're excited for that. But in the meantime, we've had a lot of people ask us about CSGO. Note that I got it right there. Yep. And we decided to dig deep and try to find some edges for you guys. Not sure if we're going to put out content yet, but we'll see. How you feeling, Moose?
I will say I actually downloaded CSGO to try and play it, see like what it was like, and it was super toxic. I got called like a noob and a bitch and just like go die every 5 seconds because I had no idea what I was doing. There's no tutorial. You just start out like as soon as you log the game and you're just in a game. And I was like, this is probably not a good look. This is probably not a good look. So got wrecked like 6 times. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Never again. Still got a couple people here. Clary, what's up, man? Nitro, what's up? Swag Lord Ken, glad to have you all here. If you have questions about the way we're presenting this data and the data that we're showing, definitely go ahead and ask, and we'll see if we can try and clarify. Yeah. So, what were you about to say, Brian?
I was gonna say, yeah. So it sounds like you got the lay of the land. You know how CSGO works from the inside. Now we know how to attack the slates.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. So we got Bismo in here as well. Yeah, Bismo helped us out with this, so it's a huge shout out to him. Thank you for helping us out on this.
Yeah. So for those of you who may have been wondering why we've been deferring any CSGO questions to Bismo in the Discord, because Bismo reached out to us and actually is helping us out with some of this data collection and data analysis. Bismo has a data background, and all the data you see on screen here has actually been analyzed by Bismo. In conjunction with us, we've kind of collaborated and said, okay, this is what we need, this is what we're trying to look for, and Bismo said, let me go do it for you guys. So that's what you see here, and yeah, we got some good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and Clary says, did anyone see the eNASCAR corrections or credits?
Good question. I'm going to take a peek right now and see what it says.
That would be pretty cool if you got moved up.
Let me see here. It says I'm still live. Definitely didn't win. So
Nice. Clary says see the Discord. So yeah, once we actually record this on Discord, so with our faces and stuff. So I'll definitely check it out after us.
record this with our faces.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about this first picture that you see on the left side of your screen here. It's the stack exposure for aggregated top 0.25% for each 2 to 3 game slate. I know that may sound complicated, but let's take a look. We took a look at every 2 to 3 game slate and see what that top 0.25% for every single individual contest and what type of stack they did. So as you see here, the most frequent stack in the top 0.25% was a 3-2-1 stack with over 40% of stacks in that nature.
Yeah, and just to go from to clarify from a high level here, um, when we look at high risk contests, a lot of our lineup construction notes are based on how often the top 0.1% of fields do things compared to what the rest of the field does, and then looking at where the differences are, and those are our edges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for most sports, top 0.1% is a pretty significant figure. But in some of these smaller esports, League of Legends, CSGO, Call of Duty when the time comes, Rocket League, we have to expand the top players a little bit. So top 0.25%, a little bit higher than top 0.1%. And what we've done here, this is about a 14-day sample. We're actually adding some more data now. We'll expand this and see how much that changes. But pretty decent sample size to get a lay of the land here. And what we did, we separated the data. Bismo actually confirmed this, that there's a pretty significant difference between how to approach a 2 to 3 game slate versus a 4+ game slate. So we're going to start with 2 to 3 games here first, and then get to the 4+ slate data here in a second. But yeah, as Moose said, it looks like 3-2-1 is the, again, this will compare this to what the field does to get the true edge, but the most frequent landings in the top 0.25% of CSGO 2 to 3 game slates are 3-2-1 stacks.
Yeah. And Nitro says, "What's up, guys? There's still a 5 a.m. single game. What do you like? What is that? The FanDuel single game?
Yeah, I think it's FanDuel, FPX, and JDG. Yeah, we said the other day I'm gonna ride with my boys from JDG. I honestly haven't played much single game there, Moose. I don't know if you have any insight there.
Get weird. I know that sounds lame, but yeah, you really just have to get weird. I think you fade both teams is really hard unless this is a pure salary play. Do you put in a team? But then you have to, if you do that, you still have to tell your story. How's putting in a team going to really tell your story? Whether it's 5 games, low score killing, or objective based, that's not really too much happening with LPL. So really think about it. When you build your lineups, try and tell a story with them.
Yeah, that's all we got. Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
That's Clary says, put team captain. That'll do it. Nice. Yeah, so as we have you see here on screen, you see the stats for the top 0.25% for 2 to 3 game slates. Now let's look at it, what the field did. So if you look at the field, still 3-2-1 stack is most prevalent at 35%. But that still gives us an edge, means it's being underused by the top 0.25%. Then you even see the rare 1-1-1-1-1-1 stack.
I'm waiting for Jake's alert to go off for the 1-1-1-1-1-1 stack.
Yeah, and then take a look at the next best one. You have the 2-2-1-1, which is used 23% of the time compared to in the field, compared to just 11% of the time on the top 0.25%. So that's a massive edge right there.
Yeah, so don't use 2-2-1-1. So go back to the first slide, Moose.
Yeah.
And you'll see here, so 3 threes were used 15% of the time by the field, but in the top 0.25%, nearly 23%. So the edges lie in, if you've been around the Discord, you've heard Bismo say this when people have asked, small slates, 2 to 3 games, 3-2-1s and 3 threes are the way to go. They provide the biggest edges over the field. They're not massive edges like we've seen in other sports, but they do provide edges, and those edges add up over the course of time.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely one of those things where you just have to grind it out.
Yeah, exactly. Clary says those 1-1-1 numbers are just Jake. You can throw those out.
Nice. And then you also see, let's look at the other ones. It was, let me see up here.
2-2-1-1, 3-1-1.
Yeah, the 2-1-1-1-1, 3-1-1-1. Pretty much all of those are not basically non-existent in the top 0.25%. So some sort of stacking, and you mentioned this in League of Legends as well, where it's like you can't try and play every single team. You have to thin some teams out. Same thing goes to building just a single lineup. You can't have too many things going on in one lineup.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Moose, can you go to slide 5 for a second here? It's the green graph that we have.
Okay.
So I think there's a next logical thing to talk about because it wouldn't be a high risk discussion if I didn't bring up uniqueness, would it? Right.
Mm-mm.
So what Bismo found, and one of the big things we wanted to look at was, all right, we can get the top 0.25%, but when we get there, how can we get unique? And you'll see here, unsurprisingly, probably, given the fact that there are only two or three games on a slate, if you use a 3-3, well, actually, let's orient ourselves here. This is a graph of all top 0.25% lineups over the 14-day period
Yeah.
for each stack type. The dark green are duplicated lineups, percentage of that stack type, and the light green are unique lineups. So you see, just for example, 3-2-1, this first column, 60% of 3-2-1s in the top 0.25% were duplicated, whereas 40% were unique. And you compare it to 3-3s, where roughly, I don't know, like 7 or 10% were only unique.
Yeah.
So we get the edge with 3-2-1 being the highest chance of finishing in the top 0.25%, the biggest leverage over what the field does, and the bigger chance of being unique. So for us, I think it looks like 3-2-1 is probably the optimal approach in high risk contests or small CSGO slates.
That was my initial thing as well. And thanks, Gucci Mane, for following. Already a subscriber, so went around it backwards. But hey, we'll take
Little
it.
backdoor action. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Clary says, I don't know the scoring, but is there correlation in CSGO stacks besides assist?
It's more so just like your team's winning, so you're correlated in that way, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Do you want to transfer over to the 4 to 6 games stuff?
Yeah. Let's stop for a sec. Any questions from the chat? Again, not surprising given how the DFS community is deadline driven, right? If a CSGO slate was happening in 15 minutes, we'd have 50 people in here. But
Yeah.
because this is long term, people can't possibly fathom the idea of learning about something that doesn't benefit them immediately. We have about half our normal viewers in here. So
Yeah.
we'll put this video out for a while. But again, if you are watching this live here, let's get some questions if you have any. If not, we'll jump to larger slates. And again, the larger slates are a smaller sample, but we're as Nodum says, what are the picks in all
Yeah.
caps? Yeah, but we'll jump to larger slates, which is a smaller sample, but we are expanding that data. And again, anything we find here, we're going to update and publish. So.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And again, now's the time to ask questions if you're confused about what a chart looks like, about if you clarify what the stacks look like, etc. This is definitely the time to ask. Uh, and I'm sure we'll put this up on YouTube or something of that nature since it is more of a long term video. But we'll get to that point when it comes. Let's take.
Pretty wild to me was really quick. Pretty wild to me is that 2-1-1-1-1-1 has the second lowest unique percentage, despite being like the fifth highest chance of being a winning lineup.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess
Pretty bad.
it's just so rare that people don't do it enough. Like I guess there's a lot of combos for it.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. That's pretty weird to me though. I would figure that like a 3-2-1 would be more duplicated, but there's an edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Wig says so. This graph is saying 3-2-1 stacks are duplicated 60% of the time. That's correct. Yep, and the top
Yeah,
0.25%.
exactly the quote winning range that we're looking at. Yeah.
Oh man, we opened ourselves a can of worms. People are actually asking questions now. Play Naked said, is there any pattern as to whether captain the 3, the 2, or the 1?
Yep, great question. Play Naked, and Bismo has the exact data. He can chime in if we say something wrong or he has something to add in the chat. But what we found, a majority of the duplicated 3-2-1 lineups came from 3 captains, captain from your 3 team. The easy way to get around it and the optimal way to get around it is captaining someone from your 2 squad. 1 is a little crazy, but 2 reduces duplication and keeps that same upside for you. So that's the optimal way to approach the captain spot if you go with 3-2-1.
Yeah. And Noto says, 4-2-1s were killing that CB LOL slate. Oh shit, caps off.
Yeah, especially those fucking game stacks. Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah, those game stacks were crazy. Um, all right, cool. Great questions, guys. Appreciate that.
Swaglord
Let's.
Kid says, any concerns about
Oh,
small sample size? Yes, of course,
I didn't see
always.
that.
However, you'd be surprised about um, sample sizes on some of these lineup datas. Like there's some sports where you can have 5 or 10 slates and get the answers.
Yeah,
But again, like I said, we just added a whole new set of data to Bismo's plate. He's going to add it to this set and compare them separately and do all the good data stuff to it. So that's a technical term, all the good data stuff. And
all the good data stuff.
like I said, we'll update anything we find.
Yeah. Bismo says, yep, 2 captain for sure. Then you can still captain a 3 heavy favorite and have a shot at uniqueness.
Yeah, and we'll get to that when we show the ownership data that we found.
Yep. Okay, cool. So this third slide, I think I have it right. Yep. Stack exposure for aggregated top 0.25% for each slate between 4 and 6 games. I said that in the most complicated way possible.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah,
but
go
yeah,
ahead.
this is the second set 4+ games, which is what we'll see on Tuesday with that big CSGO contest. If anyone has tickets to it, but yeah, here's some of the data on screen.
Yeah, so 3, 2, 1, 27% done by the top 0.25%. 2, 2, 1 ones done by 19, basically 20% of the stack as well. And then 2, 1, 1, 1, 1 done by 18% of the stack. So pretty much close there.
Biggest
Yeah.
thing, Moose, that pops out to me is that second note on the side there is that we like 3-3. We like that they're likely to finish high on small slates 3-3s.
Yeah.
But you look here, they're the lowest frequency in the top 0.25% on a 4 to 6 game slate.
Yeah. So again, it just shows that as we write about with League of Legends and Daily Plug and or even NFL versus Showdown versus the playoff slates, regular slates, the number of slates in a game is very impactful, and it definitely changes your strategy on how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. So we got 3-2-1, 2-2-1-1, 2 all ones, and then the Jake special finishes fourth here. Let's take a look at what the field does, Moose.
All right. So what does the field do on 4 to 6 game slates? They do 2, 2, 1, 1, 25% of the time, 3, 2, 1s, and 2, 1, 1, 1s basically go 21% of the time.
All right, let's flash back real quick. So 2-2-1-1's 25% by the field, and in the top 0.25% they are
20%.
so a little over leveraged by the field there. So 2-2-1-1 something to probably avoid based on this,
Yeah.
assuming the data checks out for a larger sample size. 3-2-1 still get the edge. And what is 2-1-1-1-1? 17% here. What is that in the field size?
21%.
So a little under leveraged there.
Yeah, so basically still again that 3, 2, 1 still seems to be still seems to have that leverage. Again, we go the field, or sorry, the top 0.25%, 27% versus 22% versus the field. So that's probably your best bet there
Yep.
for
And
those
then
sports.
what are 3-1-1-1s in the top percents?
So 3, 1, 1, 1s are 9%.
All right, so roughly even. Yeah, everything else here is roughly even. So the field's kind of sharp. You actually do get like a 1 or 2% edge with even like a 3 or 4% edge with the 1-1-1-1-1s.
Yeah.
Wow. Who knew Jake was onto something this whole time?
Yeah. Yeah, Clary says 2 captain, 3, 1 for the win.
Yep.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. Yeah, and again, I'm not going to try and speculate, but I am going to speculate. Where you could see the 1-1-1-1-1s pop off in terms of, you have the clutch kills bonus. That could be something where, let's say, if your team gets wrecked and you get a couple clutch kills, that could be several points right there.
Yeah, and I think 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1 lineups are maybe we should call them the Rosetta Stone lineups, like Nodum says in the chat. I like that idea. The Rosetta
Yeah,
Stone lineups, probably more so for 6 game slates where you get one winner from each side.
yeah,
So that's interesting. Either way, it's something to know. And again, this is a smaller sample. We're going to see how this data changes as we expand the sample.
absolutely. Yep. And let's just take a look really quick at this next slide. Again, guys, if you have questions, go ahead and ask. We'll be here for 12 more minutes till 10:30. It's Nodum also calls it the pick six. That's not a bad idea too.
Yeah, that's some good names.
Clary says, I love how Moose puts together all these disclaimers for good points he makes. They make zero disclaimers and say why he hates Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's funny, right? He has absolutely zero disclaimers for any of his terrible takes.
All
But
right. Didn't
all the
say
good
I
data, he's got plenty of disclaimers.
didn't say I hate Seinfeld. I just said I've never seen an episode.
Disclaimer, he's never seen one. So there's your disclaimer right there.
Yeah. We were actually watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia because my girlfriend's never seen it before, and I was like, "Oh, you got to watch it," and she was like, geeking so hard over it.
It's a good show.
Very good show. All right, next slide here. Nope, not that one. Again, not too much data we can get out of this, but the underdog win rate over our sample size, 28%, 18 out of 64, and then clean sheets, 35 out of 64, or 55%. Ron, you want to explain what clean sheets are?
Yeah, I'll explain this whole thing here. So 28% doesn't seem like a lot, but again, it just reminds of the fact that underdogs can and do win. When you look at a 3-game slate and you see 3 favorites, you're like, just naturally, it's like, okay, this team's gonna win because of the favorite, and this team's gonna win because of the favorite, and this team's gonna win because of the favorite. Odds are one of those underdogs is gonna win. And as we show the ownership here in a couple minutes, it's major leverage. Everyone's going to want to try to stack favorites together, and you'll see how crazy ownership is correlated with money lines. And maybe not as crazy as LPL or some of these other sports we've seen, but underdogs win and should be incorporated into your strategy. It's a big way to help you get unique. And clean sheets, by the way, are just how many series are won, how many series a team has swept. So if they win 2-0 or 3-0, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll say just a point about the underdog, like all favorites winning. If you go to like Google, put in any parlay calculator and put in what are the odds of this parlay, and you put in the odds of all the favorites winning, I guarantee you it'll be less than 50% chance that they actually pull that off in terms of like a parlay calculator. So that's one thing that you can kind of grasp that and say, oh, these favorites are heavy favorites, they should all win. Well, according to the odds, they probably won't all win.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, this is just again nothing earth-shattering here, but just shows that underdogs can and do win, and we should incorporate that.
Yeah, and as Bismo points out here, it says the clean sheet sweep bonus, that's tough to say.
That's a mouthful.
Is only 5 points per player. So essentially, sometimes it might be better to have a game 3 instead of a game 2 sweep if you think the players can outscore the bonus.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of similar to League of Legends, right? Where, you don't really play for sweeps. If it happens, it happens. You'll gladly get that 20-point bonus, but sometimes those additional games can add more points to your total. So,
absolutely. All right, cool. And then this last slide that we have here, again, I believe this was from 4-7, and you look at the money line, the number of wins in that game, and the total ownership.
Middle alert.
Yeah. So we just literally sliced out one slate.
Yeah.
But literally every single slate looks like this, where the favorite basically doubles, or whatever the difference in the money line is basically the difference in ownership. I mean, look at this. It's pretty nuts. Like, the larger the favorite, the bigger the ownership, the bigger the difference between the ownership and between the favorite and the underdog. And every single slate is like this. Literally every slate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at, for example, the OG that won 2-1. They were over twice. Fnatic was twice their ownership. So if OG wins, which they did, you get absolutely fantastic leverage there.
Yeah, it's nutty. Like, every slate.
Yeah.
Every slate was like this, where it was basically 1-to-1 correlation between the money line and the underdog. There were a couple where an underdog was slightly favored, but it was like a coin flip, and they were probably pretty cheap compared to the favorite. So, yeah, Bismo could probably speak more to this in the chat, but just incredible, because the thing is, most is going to be like this with Outlaw Golf, some of these other sports where there's not a ton of people providing content for it.
Yeah.
There isn't there's no like NFL, like there's roles and news, and NBA there are substitutions, and baseball. There's all kinds of shit, right? Here we have like one data point to use, and it's the money line.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
So.
Yeah, I mean, when we run our, when we have our LPL projections pretty much done for the main slates, the biggest factor in that is money line. That's what drives ownership.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. So, um, so yeah, let's stop here. Any questions you guys have? We'll finish the show off 7 minutes. We'll probably put this up on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you have any questions after the fact, go ahead and comment below, and we'll be sure to answer those for you. But again, just some disclaimers that Moose likes to use here. So, relatively small sample, although as we've seen in other sports, these samples can be predictive. We just basically doubled the slate side or the number of slates and sent it over to Bismo earlier today, and he's gonna dig into those and see if the shit stays the same. And again, we don't have any player data here, like predicting player value.
Yeah.
But looking at optimal lineup constructions, which is what all we're about here, we found some pretty good stuff so far.
Yeah, and Swaglarkin says, what do you mean by the 28% chance? Bismo made a comment earlier. 28% chance, that's so worth the incredible ownership leverage. And yeah, as Bismo points out, that's the underdog win rates overall. Obviously, it varies from game to game, but basically, that the fact that the underdog win rate is so much leverage compared to what their ownership is that playing the underdogs really helps out.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe not underdog heavy, but like playing one underdog per slate.
Yeah.
And again, that 28% wasn't adjusted for money lines or wasn't adjusted per game. It's just an overall flat underdog win rate. And it goes to show over the course of 64 series, 14 slates or whatever it was, that underdogs win. And again, it's part of the way to help you get unique and finish highly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. So 5 more minutes left, guys. If you have any last questions, or if you have any anecdotal evidence of playing CSGO and you want to talk about it, let us know. As Notam says, yeah, the population thinks favorites are a lock. It's literally every sport.
Yeah, dude. The general public, the average person, can't grasp the concept of range of outcomes, as evidenced by any comment under a 538 tweet or article. And yeah, we need to take that into account and use it to our advantage.
Yeah, and Clary says, are there certain roles that players play that lend themselves to more points, kind of like League of Legends? And Bismo says, yeah, in-game leaders score way less than their teammates. So I guess, so there's like a leader and then everyone else follows him, I guess.
Yeah, so you can actually see this on Gamepedia.com.
Gamepedia is a great website.
An incredible website where they list each team's rosters, and on there they actually put a little icon next to the in-game leader. It's called a crown. So you know probably to avoid those guys. As always, there are always exceptions. Some teams do have an in-game leader that scores a lot. Very rare, does happen. But more times than not using an in-game leader is an easy way to avoid a dud from a team that wins.
Yeah, and Swagcore Kim makes points. Says in-game leader is similar to a support player for League of Legends. Would you kind of make that case?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Unless you're a support player today for what was that team in the last Brazilian game? The support had 14 kills and just went off.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Cool. So great questions, guys. I'm gonna switch it back for the last couple of minutes to that uniqueness chart. If I can figure out what slide it's on. Yep, there you go. And I'll leave this up for the last couple of minutes here. Yeah, apparently the support's name was Ints. Notam says, fuck that guy.
Yeah, for real. Also, Notam says, imagine trying to research these slates before the internet. Yeah, impossible. And that's why the most dominant sports bettors were the people who had inside people getting information in each city.
Yeah, I've been following a podcast where the guy basically interviews people who used to go to Vegas, like bookmakers in Vegas from way back in the day, like 60s, 70s, 80s, and stuff like that. And, this story is well known, but Billy Walters, probably the best sports bettor of all time. What he did was he actually had a crew that worked at McCarran Airport. And after each plane landed, they would go through and pick up all the local newspapers that were dropped, look for injury reports, lineup notes, or anything like that, and send it back to him for research.
That's the ultimate grind. Like here, we're digging through slate data. Billy Walters' crew was digging through airplane newspapers.
Yeah,
the grind never stops, no matter what era it is.
Yeah, and I'll say there was actually one thing where this again was before cell phones, so he gave everybody walkie-talkies. So he would tell people the plays, like, "Hey, bet this on the walkie-talkies," And what people would do is, if they couldn't do it anymore, didn't have time, they would actually sell the walkie-talkies without telling him and say, "Yeah, just say it's me," or whatever.
Oh,
So that, and then he found out, and there was like a group of people who had these like stolen or fake or not like sold walkie-talkies, and he gave them the fake plays for like a week, and they just got burned so hard. And of
Billy
course, he
Walters
was
too sharp.
and he would tell them first, and they would go and bet it and move another half point in his favor as well. And he'd go on the other side, tell his other crew, part of the crew to bet the other side, and he crushed.
Damn. Yeah, Billy Walters a G with some of that stuff. Notem says, it's like me. I was grinding Portuguese Twitter today. Yeah, you and me both, bud. Google Translate was pretty handy this morning.
Yes, absolutely. Clary says, when do you think you'll start having plugs for CSGO?
Yeah, honestly, we'll probably, I mean, if we're just being 100% honest here, probably won't be providing plugs. We need a little break here to work on some other stuff until League of Legends fully resumes in the middle of May. So I wouldn't count on anything. Things always do change, as we've seen in 2020.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't count on it just yet.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we have the Discord, so if you want to chat it up and get some advice from us, Bismo, etc., definitely go ahead and ask.
For sure. Yeah, and again, this is ongoing research. Um, we wouldn't put this out if we didn't feel relatively confident in it. But again, we're not going to publish anything on the website just yet. We want a little more data, but I know you guys are itching for some CSGO stuff. I know some people got tickets for Tuesday's big 25K to first GPP on DraftKings. So figured we give you guys a little taste.
Are you maxing that, by the way?
No. I
Just
have I think I have like 12 tickets or something that the only goddamn satellites I can win. So I'll be playing those 12 tickets and that's it.
nice. So, all right, guys. Any last questions? I'll stay here because we're on like a 30-second delay. So I'll stay here for another minute or two. See what you guys have. You want us to go back to a slate or a slide? Let us know. Luis Carr, subscribe with Twitch Prime. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Appreciate you. Recent follower too, so definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. So by subscribing, you do get access to the Discord channel. Go ahead and connect your Twitch and Discord account. It should show up in your connections. If not, hit us up and we'll get you out there.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 shot that it works. So.
And that says, thank you guys. You all have helped me so much. I'm glad that's what we're here to do. We're glad we're here to help people. Glad that's working out for you.
Yep, that's what we're doing. I'm trying to give back during this time, giving all the free good stuff for the esports. Certainly not gonna make you guys pay any money for this. So, different story when sports comes back.
Now, speaking of paying and all that kind of stuff like that, there are top tiers. I just want to win Justy and Clary. Do you want to tell Brian? Do you want to tell the crowd we got now what's going to happen May 1st with the top tiers?
Yeah, so you guys got 5 days to top those guys on a leaderboard. Pretty lofty totals. So not sure if you see it's above the chat here on Twitch. I think it might initially be showing the gifts, but if you scroll to the right, you'll see the cheers. Whoever the top cheers are at the end of April will win a percentage of my GPP earnings for one specific slate. May just do the 5/16 summer opener. We'll see. But I haven't fully decided yet. But again, you guys will get a chance at some of my earnings get a sweat. So as Clary tried to solidify his third place standing with a cheer. We appreciate you, Clary. So we'll see what happens here.
Nice. Yeah, and it was really fun. And I'll say this last thing that we get up out of here was I can't remember. It was the showdown slate for NFL, and you were really close to being. I think it was only like a small tie on to first going into the fourth quarter, and a couple things just didn't go your way and it didn't work out. But it was really fun. Excuse me, to sweat that.
Yeah, my track record, admittedly, has been abysmal for these GPP shares in the past. So some luck's gonna turn around. Hopefully our top shares don't get $2.75 each this time around, which has happened in the past.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, I appreciate y'all coming out. If you have further questions, hit us up. You got the Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Twitch messages, email. We'll figure out a way to reach back out to you. I'm Moose, alongside Brian from OccupyFantasy.com. Until next time, have a good one.
Peace.